There's one last thing we're going to do before we start programming. We're going to need some sort of backup system for our source code. Ideally, we'd be able to back it up every time we made changes and go back to any state in our progress if we ever make a change we don't like. Fortunately for us, there's an entire class of applications that do exactly this. Go to Google and do a search for Tortoise SVN. We chose to use Tortoise SVN for this tutorial over other version control systems like Perforce or FileHamster because it's both professional quality and free. Scroll down the page and download the installer for your platform. Once the installer is finished downloading, open it up and run through with all of the default options. Once you're done, you'll have to restart. Now that Tortoise SVN's been installed, go ahead and delete the installer. Then open up your C drive, or any other drive, and create a new folder. This is going to be our SVN repository, so we'll call it something appropriate like SVN repo. Next, right-click to bring up the context menu, and you'll see some new options that Tortoise SVN installed. Choose Tortoise SVN Create Repository here, and very soon you'll have your own repository. The next thing we want to do is fill this repository with all of our current files. But first, we need to do one other thing. Open up Visual Studio and choose Game HL2 2005. Whenever you build a solution, you create lots and lots of little intermediary files. They can take up a lot of space, and since they can be built from the .h and .cpp files in the source directory anyways, we don't really want to include them in our backup. So, to get rid of them, hit Build, Clean Solution. Once this is finished, be sure to close Visual Studio so that none of the files in your project folder are going to be in use. Right-click on your mod directory, choose Tortoise SVN, Import. In the URL of repository, type the URL using file:// before entering the path. Then press OK. This can take some time because it goes through the entire directory hierarchy and adds every single file. Next, we have to check out of the repository. Right-click on JetMod and choose SVN Checkout. We want to check out from the SVN repo we just created, and we want to check out into JetMod. Press OK, and press Yes when it asks you if you want to check out. If everything went according to plan, you should see a green check mark on your folder icon for your mod. And if you open it up, you'll also see one on every other file. These green check marks mean that all the files in the folders are totally in sync with the repository. When you start making changes, you'll see red X's appear. Right-click on a file and choose SVN Commit to save all of those changes to the repository. Add any messages to be sure that you have logged what changes you made during this commit, then press OK. In this window, you can see a list of all the files in the folder that you're submitting with check marks next to the ones that will be submitted. Finally, it's a good idea to commit anytime you reach a stable benchmark. This means anytime you've made any significant changes and gotten to a point where the program will compile and run, it's probably a good idea to commit your changes.